Hello UPIKE viewers, welcome to the October edition of Bear TV News. I'm Madison Farrell.
And I'm Travis Stamper. We're here to cover some of the most recent news around UPIKE and the surrounding community.
In today's show, we will be featuring stories on the Haunted Lab, U-Parodies, a startup competition, a documentary screening, the I'm Just Me movement, a campus concert, and the Halloween dance. But first, a story on the opening of the HPE building.
On October 27th, UPIKE held its official ribbon cutting for the Health Professions Education Building. In attendance were many of those who helped UPIKE reach this great milestone. UPIKE is now one of only 23 universities which offer an optometry degree. We are proud to officially welcome this new building on campus.
Also on October 27th and 28th, UPIKE hosted its annual Haunted Lab. The Biology Club transformed the labs in Armington to a haunted house. This was all done in an effort to raise money for the Biology Club. This was their 10th year of scaring the campus, all for a worthy cause. We were able to talk with one of the attendees.
It's a really good, event, and we had a great time. It's super scary, and if they're just looking for something to do, this is the place.
On November 1st, the Film and Media Arts program hosted its semi-annual UPIKE U-Parodies event in Chrisman Auditorium. The event was a huge success that wouldn't have been possible without the help of What's Up Wednesday crew and the students who submitted parodies. There were 11 films submitted, and the top 3 films took home $300 in prize money. UPIKE FMA alumni and 3-time U-Parody champion Adrian Smith was even there to give some advice to the students.
I would say being an alumni here at UPIKE and coming back here today to watch all these films, it kind of just it's a nice feeling. It's nice seeing all these films because, I was one year, long ago, I was doing the same thing. I was making all these films, I was editing them, bringing my friends together, other students, and we were just talking and making films. But now these students, they're carrying on to this tradition here, and they're making these films. And honestly, every year I'll come and watch these, they're getting better and better, and I'm just excited to see what's next.
On October 25th, David Snow, Director of Kentucky Innovation Network, Pikeville office, and Associate Professor of Business, visited a first-year studies class. He shared with them the importance of entrepreneurship and how they can start even as a freshman to make the difference in society today.
Well, mainly I just wanted to inform them of the opportunities here at UPIKE and to introduce them to entrepreneurship and the possibilities, regardless of what their major is, how entrepreneurship can contribute to making them better students and better employees when they leave here.
On October 23rd, UPIKE faculty Brigida Anderson and Andrew Reed organized a screening of the observational documentary Line Fork with the help of Pike County native Wesley Simon. Line Fork follows Lee Sexton, a legendary Appalachian banjo player. After the screening, there was a question and answer session with co-directors Jeff Silva and Vic Rawlings, event co-organizer Wesley Simon, as well as linguist Greg Johnson. We were able to grab an interview with Greg Johnson about how the documentary helps to keep the Appalachian music traditions alive.
My papa played music. My dad did not. One of his brothers did, but then none of the grandkids did. And I think there's a gap in the musical tradition of the area. I think younger kids now are picking it up, like the kids that were in the documentary. But I think there's a whole group of people my age, like in their 30s, that didn't play any of this, or they played rock and roll or something like that. So I think that's how it helps to get those traditions, keep them going.
We now go to Megan Stepp for coverage of the Black Student Union and the I'm Just Me movement.
Recently, the I'm Just Me movement was invited to the UPIKE campus by the Black Student Union to discuss diversity and what it means for each individual to be an agent of change. We spoke to BSU President William Wheeler about what this means for campus.
The organization is called I'm Just Me. I mean, everyone can be themselves, you know what I'm saying? So if you have issues with yourself or something, or, it's hard being you can come to stuff like this.
I've got involved in this movement by joining in with Will and signing cards that he was representing out in the plaza. Definitely talk to people about the diversity and the difference that we all have with each other, because if you don't talk, then you're not going to understand those differences.
An agent of change is being able to make a difference in your community, in your circle, with your peers, using your strengths, your talents, your positivity, and encouraging others to make a difference. I would like to add that I'm very excited that UPIKE has been very progressive in allowing us to come in and talk about diversity and inclusion, and we really appreciate the opportunity and the fact that UPIKE has, in its own right, becoming an agent of change with being able to allow us to come in.
Facebook page is UPIKE Black Student Union, and y'all can like and follow us on there, or you just come see me. I'm always around campus.
We encourage all students to be agent of change. Reporting for Bear TV News, I'm Megan Stepp.
Thanks, Megan. We want to thank everyone who came to show support for the cause, and we want everyone to continue to make a difference in the world.
On Thursday, October 19th, Ryan Quinn, a former contestant from NBC's The Voice, performed in Booth Auditorium. He performed many hits, including a dedication to the late Tom Petty.
I've never done a real tour before now. So I live in Los Angeles, and I've been on the East Coast since the end of August. Some people live for a fortune. And I've been having these little stints of mini tours. It's like 5 days in a row and then 4 days off, or something like that. And it's just kind of verifying that this is actually what I want to do with my life. I'm really happy to have the opportunity to play music for a living. Yeah, I'm free.
I'm free falling. On Saturday, October 29th, the University of Pikeville held their Halloween dance on the 7th floor of the HPE building. This event was hosted by Campus Activities Boards. We got the interview with Kelly Porter, coordinator of student activities, to tell us more about the event.
They bring the costumes, they bring the attitude and mentality, and they really just love to get together and have fun, and really makes my job worthwhile.
Here with us in the studio today is Chaplain Rob Music to talk about Spiritual Emphasis Week. Rob? How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks.
All right, good to hear. So what is Spiritual Emphasis Week?
Yeah, it's a time the university, because of our historic Christian identity being a Presbyterian school, where we want to celebrate that. So typically, you have weeks of diversity, or you might have social work week, or you might have, whatever the type of week it is. So we have a week dedicated to the study of religion, current topics, and spirituality. So in the last 6 years I've been here, we've had a wide variety of topics.
All right, and what is this for the community? Like how can people get involved with it, and what does this do for the community?
Well, for me, my philosophy is a community should be blessed because they have a university in their town. So with that, we have a chance as a university to ask some questions, maybe even address some topics that aren't really addressed other places. So for example, this year we're talking about what it means to move from death to life and to really address some major social issues of our day. And so for us, Spiritual Emphasis Week, and part of the gift of the community is you're going to bring in high-level scholarship that people will have access to for free, maybe some alternative worship or religious experiences that they might not get in your typical, what people think of a small mountain town like Pikeville. And then when they see a week like this, they say, man, this is, Pikeville is not this small little place. It's really quite an urban or a diverse experience or diverse community. So that's what I think it means to our community.
How can people get involved?
I would say attend, right? Let me describe some of the activities of the week. On Sunday night, we have a pastor who is in Missouri. He's a leading voice in challenging nationalism, kind of America's love of America, and the church saying, we love God when God's draped in an American flag. So we're kind of asking the question, has the church fallen too much in love with the flag? So we have a pastor beginning to address the issue of nationalism. So that's Sunday night at 7:37 during our normal 7:37 experience in the chapel. And then on Monday night at 7 o'clock, we'll be watching a documentary that wrestles with, because this last year in America we've talked a lot about kind of illegal aliens or immigration and people sneaking over our border, and we have to build walls, and immigration's been a really passionate issue. So we're looking at one life of bones that were discovered in the desert, and one filmmaker said, I want to know about this person's story. So it's a research of this person's life and why is it that they would come from Latin America into Mexico to try to cross the American border. What was going on in their world? So, you know, from a kind of a tragic John Doe's story to a person's life. So that's Monday night. We're going to talk about the issue of immigration. Tuesday night will be our annual, what they call Worship on the Hill. And this is where we typically have a Christian speaker and music. So this year we'll have live music. But this year, Tuesday night, we're addressing the culture of death. America seems to be obsessed with death, not in a healthy way, like, you know, oh, by the way, you're going to die, let's talk about that. But really, we just have this love of believing that people are only inherently valuable when they can do something for us. So Mrs. Kay Hammond, who is the director and founder of our pregnancy center, will be coming and talking about the pregnancy center, but also what it means to affirm life in all areas. Then on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock is our annual Dr. Carol Grizzard Browning lecture. And this year, a scholar from Colorado, his name is Dr. Miguel de la Torre. He is an expert on Christian ethical issues, particularly immigration, language about God that is sexist, human sexuality. So this year he's going to be addressing how our language about God often creates patriarchy, does damage to women. You think about the issue of God as our Father, of course. Then Thursday night, we'll be addressing the issue of can faiths or religions coexist together. So we'll have multiple people from various faiths. So we'll have a rabbi with us, a member of the local mosque, a Muslim, we'll have a Christian priest who will be there, a couple other members of various faiths who will be sitting down and talking about the importance of their religious traditions, but also how can they do common good, right? And then on Friday, we will be addressing the issue of kind of various service projects. So that's going to be our whole week.
All right, and when does this start?
Yeah, this starts on Sunday night, November 12th at 7:37.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us here today, Rob.
Thank you so much, Travis.
Now it's time for Rob Rundle with your UPIKE Sports News.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Update. I'm Rob Rundle. Let's dive right in as senior Ramon Morris has officially broken the interception record and is the career interception leader. This record was officially broken when Morris took an interception to the house against the University of Cumberland before the end of the first half. Both men and women's soccer are coming off of huge victories on Senior Day as the men's team won 8-1 against Hiwassee thanks to a hat trick by Eric Bernabeu. Seniors Harry Hill and Max Eisenberg combined for 3 goals as well, making it a great curtain call for the seniors. On the women's side, the Bears shut out Hiwassee 5-0 thanks to seniors Abby Helwig and Macarena Acuna netting 2 of the 5 goals. The volleyball team is hot as they are 4-1 in their last 5 games. The Bears have 1 match remaining versus Life University this upcoming Saturday at 1 p.m. in the UPIKE Gymnasium. It's that time of year again, lights on and cold nights for both undergraduate students and med school students as intramural football gets underway. Team names range from I formation all the way to no-fly zone. Intramural sports has been a stress reliever for numerous students here at the University of Pikeville. We had the chance to talk to Student Activities Assistant Austin Helms about intramural football.
I ref, and this, it gives you at least an hour, 2 hours out here. It takes your mind off of school and all the work you have involved with it, and you just get to have fun with a bunch of your friends playing competitive little sport. It can get very competitive. We have 2 divisions. We have the undergrad division and then the med school division, and some people like to butt heads and argue a lot, but at the end of the day, it's just intramural football. We're out here having fun, so we get it all settled out.
For anyone interested in other intramural sports coming up, please contact Coordinator of Student Activities, Kelly Porter. Basketball season is officially underway as the men's basketball team is 2-0, beating Central Penn and Florida National University both by double digits. Junior Javion De La Cruz is leading the Bears by averaging 17.5 points per game. For the women's team, they started out their season facing tough opponent Marian University as they fell 90-82. Junior Addison Corder led the Bears with 19 points. The Bears start off the season 0-1, but fear not, as the Bears are a competitive, passionate team that will succeed this season. The women and men's bowling teams brought back some hardware for the University of Pikeville. The women's team won the Martin Methodist Baker Classic by over 500 pins, finishing in first place for the 2nd time this season. The men's team finished 2nd in the Martin Methodist Baker Classic, 773 to 693 to Martin Methodist. The Bears do advance to the first tier of the season in Marietta, Georgia this upcoming Saturday. Best of luck to the Bowling Bears this upcoming season. Well, that'll wrap things up for this edition of the Sports Update. Tune in next time for more sports coverage. Travis and Madison, back to you.
Thanks, Rob, for that update. We are continually amazed by our athletes and hope they continue to do well.
All right, that wraps it up for this edition of Bear TV News. Thanks a lot for joining us, everyone. I'm Madison Farrell.
And I'm Travis Stamper. We'll see you next time.